You
get
seem
a
extra
handful of
zen.
gigs.
There's
Yeah,
something about
thank
it's
you.
a lake effect.
It's a lake
Obviously.
effect. Yeah, I found a purple agate, which I've never seen
Whoa.
before. Yeah,
Okay.
I wonder.
Do you have it in your pocket? Stop it. Welcome to In the Round, a podcast for people who love music and genuine conversation. Join us as we sit down with some of our favorite local, regional, and national artists to chat about life and their creative journeys. I'm Dee. I'm a musician, I'm a music lover, and I'm your host. So pull up a chair, get comfy, and enjoy. Our guest this week is Simon Cropp. He's about to drop a new album this summer, and we think you'll enjoy his often humorous yet steadily insightful songwriting. We chat about his musical journey, his travels, and rocks, like literal rocks. And remember to stick around at the end to hear a snip of his new song, Resignation Letter. Simon Cropp, welcome to In the Round. So happy to have you here.
Thank you. I'm so happy to be here.
I should say we've actually had you in the studio before, and you were opening for them Coolie Boys back in December.
Yeah. Yep.
Which is wild. So it was so fun to meet you then, and I actually got to see you perform, which is a huge reason of why we wanted to have you on. It was really cool seeing you with them Coolie Boys. We love those guys; they're so much fun. But it was great seeing you kind of in your element as a solo act, because you also play in Slapdash Bluegrass and several other bands. So it was cool to see you play solo, and you have this great like quirky storytelling, like hilariousness about you that I really enjoyed. So I'm glad you're here.
Thanks. Yeah, thanks for coming to that show and having me back here.
Blast.
That was really fun. I did 2 nights in a row with the Coolie Boys, and those guys are just such goofballs and sweethearts. It's really a delight to be in their presence.
That's a perfect description for anyone who listened to that episode. They would also pick up on that.
Yeah.
Because they are total goofballs and sweethearts simultaneously. But you yourself are also in Upper Iowa, so you're from Decorah.
Yeah.
Bluegrass country kind of mix of music. And actually, I've been fortunate to get to listen to the full band version of the song you played for us today, which is Resignation Letter. And that is just such a clever song. Like when you dig into the lyrics and what you're doing and playing off of the literal use of letter versus, a handwritten letter. It's so delightful. But in the full band version, as I mentioned, we were talking about this, the instrumentation that you have on that just really fleshes it out. And there's this killer organ on it. There's this incredible guitar tone that cuts in with these little solos and stuff that just leans into I would actually love for you to kind of talk about the lyrical meaning of the song, because it's, I feel like, highly relatable, but it leans into that like wearisome, but it's still kind of like rooted type vibe. It's kind of a mix of feelings. I feel like everybody feels like, I don't want to work anymore, but you got to keep going.
Totally.
I guess is what yeah.
Thanks for putting words to that. Yeah, I was so lucky to get to work with just some of my favorite musicians tracking that song. My friend Vinny Donatelli kind of wanted to produce something for me this winter, and so I brought him that song, and he pulled together the players and made it happen. So yeah, really most of the credit to him and Kevin Israel.
Yeah, amazing.
The crew at the River Rock Studios in Northeast Minneapolis there.
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, and then lyrically, I mean, it's like I listen to the Grateful Dead a lot, and in New Minglewood Blues, they use like an old blues trope, which is like T for Texas, T for Timbuktu, T for San Francisco, where the girls know what to do.
Yes,
something like that.
Right.
Yeah.
I love. Yes. Yep. I love that.
And so I was just kind of I had that T for something stuck in my head, and I wanted to do I was thinking I'd do like an acronym, like spell a word.
Yeah.
And then I couldn't figure out
And
which
then
word to spell. And
you're
so
like, T for tomato,
Yeah.
O for what? Oh, yeah. Like it goes downhill real quick. Yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
I'm glad that I didn't waste too much time trying to make that happen.
Right.
Square peg into a round hole.
Yeah, no kidding. I know sometimes it's helpful to put kind of guardrails, I think, on like, I want to write a song like this today, or I want to do this, you know, kind of recreate this lyrical thing. And then other times it's like, nope, can't have those restrictions. It's
Yeah.
just not fun to write within that.
Totally.
Yeah. Have you looked at going out to the Sphere for the Grateful Dead experience? Have you seen that in Vegas? It's so wild.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
It's it looks insane.
It's probably worth a trip, you know, I would say.
Yeah. I saw Dead and Company at Wrigley Field, and even then I didn't really know where to look.
Yeah.
And so I think I would really struggle at the Sphere.
Yeah. Probably just have a heart attack and you could die a little bit.
It's like those 4D movie theaters, like the IMAX experience where they blow.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Exactly. It's like, it looks incredible, but I'm with you. It's also like sensory overload and probably would lose my mind a little bit.
Yeah.
But so back to you though, Simon.
Sure.
Are you this is your first album. You're gonna be putting one out this summer. Spoilers, everybody. Is this your first like solo record, right?
Yeah.
You've just been dropping a few singles. You put out Going Home and Paperback Dream, which have already seen some great listener traction, I would say, on Spotify. That was amazing.
That one, people like that one.
Yeah, it's beautiful. There's like some kind of true kind of bluegrassy harmonies in there. I don't know if that's the other singer from Slapdash
Helen,
or
totally.
Cool. So really beautiful kind of instrumentation on that, similar to this new track that, you know, is going to be among those, I'm sure. But so first solo record for you then. Yeah.
Yep. It's been really fun. I kind of just decided like maybe a year ago that I wanted to do it and used it as kind of a writing prompt, you know?
Yeah.
Like I want to have 10 songs that I'm like really proud to kind of, you know, immortalize.
Yeah. Put your name on, literally. Yeah. No, that makes sense. That's kind of nice to give yourself a goal, because then you might actually do it, you know,
Totally.
as opposed to just like, I want to write an album. That's what I was wondering. I was like, have these songs been baking for a while and just haven't lived with any project, or did you actually sit down and kind of, well, I say sit down, you travel and you gig quite often, so I imagine you in your car, and that's how I write a lot of times.
That's how I write too,
Yeah, so it's kind of a longer term process in writing.
Yeah, it's been almost everything on that album is like I wrote within the last year.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think critically now, but
I'm putting you on the spot. Nothing like having the album ready to go and you got to put it out and you don't feel overwhelmed at all. And now I'm asking you a bunch of questions.
I can totally handle it.
You're like, that's literally why I'm here. It's fine.
So they're all pretty purpose driven. I do like I've kind of trialed most of them in different like projects, you know, to like, because I like to be able to play something live, like test it, you know?
Yes.
A little bit.
It's like a comedian doing their bits.
Exactly.
You know, you got to work it, see what lands a little bit. Yeah. And don't you notice the energy? Like sometimes things come out of you on stage that don't come out of you in rehearsal even, or at home when especially if you're working on something solo and you get up there and you're like, you know, sometimes not necessarily an epiphany, but just like the energy that you start feeding off of people, I feel like influences.
Yeah. Yeah, I find that to be really instructive too. And like I'll notice like, oh, that word didn't feel good to say in front of people, or like, oh, you know, I mean, you know.
Wait, what word? I love this. Okay.
Or like, oh, it's
like moist is
exactly. Yeah. Like why, you know, why do I need to?
We gotta give him an example. Everyone's mind's going like everywhere. Yeah.
No, I'm sure. Yeah, I'm sure. I've said many things that people wouldn't want me to say on a microphone, but I do it all the time. So, you know, sometimes you miss.
I find it charming, but I totally get it. Yeah.
And even more than that, I think like, oh, like the third verse, like people lose interest at this moment, you
Yeah, yeah,
know,
yeah.
like kind of song structure wise, or like,
Yeah.
oh, like people are really like wanting to like, it seems like there wants to be like a break here, or you know what I mean, that sort of thing.
Oh, yeah,
And so everything
interesting.
on the album I've tried out in person, except that resignation letter. I wrote it the
Oh.
day before we went into the studio.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Whoa.
I
So
never
did you
played that
want to
live.
quit? I mean, that's kind of is that the inspiration? You're like, I have to go in the studio tomorrow. I don't want to do it.
Yeah, no, it's a character study.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Right. I know. I do that. So I talk about this a lot too when I perform of like, hey, this is a real feeling, but not a real story. You know, like
Yeah,
I kind of, write that way. And because
totally.
even today, my job was, that song, of course, is about, kind of wanting to call it a day and quit. And my job today was filming you doing that. So, I feel pretty good usually most days about my job.
Totally.
But, I feel like that feeling is so relatable and we've all felt it in different parts of our life, different times of our life.
Yeah. Yeah, totally. In certain circumstances, like because my solo set can often be like a bunch of kind of heavy stuff in a row, you know? It's like
Yeah.
and so in order to add some levity, you know, I'll introduce that song as one about not wanting to go to work.
Yeah.
Which, you know, if I'm at like, you know, a bar on the Mississippi River that, you
Right.
know, plays a lot better than, you know, me saying here's one about the internal conflict between somebody who's, you know, struggling in their home life and, you know.
Right. Here's my song about addiction and how it ruins lives.
Right,
Yeah, like
right.
it's a little harder.
So
Although I love what's funny about your songwriting is it's so beautiful, and even your rendition today, like I love that that's your funny song because like it's so it's like therapeutic, almost lullaby-esque to listen to, but it is
Yeah.
like very tongue-in-cheek, and that's what I love about your writing, and how you kind of it is like you're writing jokes. I mean, straight up, like there's punchlines, I feel like, in your songs, which is something I really admire. I would love to write that complex, I guess, I love that.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's fun.
Yeah, I appreciate that. I try and, you know, most of the time when I'm writing, I'm thinking about like how, if I were, you know, to speak about this thing,
Yeah.
how would I do it, you know? And I think often when I'm speaking, I'm trying to like entertain.
Yeah,
You know?
right. It's intrinsic to
Yeah,
being a musician. You want to entertain. Yeah. But okay, so the show in December, there was a song you played that I think is a slapdash song, maybe, but it's the one about playing really late at a bar. Like, I know
Oh,
there's a lot of songs like that, but
yeah.
it made me laugh so hard because it's a musician song. Like it's a musician
inside
wrote
baseball.
it.
Yeah.
It's for musicians by musicians. Because it's about, I mean, we've all played those gigs of like 4 hours to like people that are just getting sloshed and couldn't care less about you, but you got to bring the energy and keep them drinking, and that's why the bar pays you. If they pay you, hopefully they pay you. It was just that really cracked me up, and I was like, I feel like it's a mix of your real experiences, but also just kind of the like just laughing about it, really, like not taking it too seriously, because sometimes you need those gigs to get you to the next town.
Totally. Yeah, I play lots of them.
Yeah, right, right. That's what
Yeah.
I imagine. You're like, ugh.
Yeah, the Barfly Rodeo is the name of that one.
Ah, that's what it is. I was like, I know it's a really fun name too.
Yeah.
I could not remember. Yeah,
And
yeah.
that's gonna be on this album too.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah,
Okay, that's why I wondered if it was gonna make it. It's such a fun song. I think I was guffawing, like just laughing out loud when I was watching you play.
It's usually a good litmus test for like who in the audience has played in cover bands
Yeah,
before.
yeah. You're
you
like,
know?
hey, there you are. What's up? Yeah. No, that was fun. Yeah, so you spend a lot of time gigging and also gigging in other bands. You're kind of a gun for hire. We talked about that, which is cool. So it sounds like you're traveling a lot. What keeps you going? I mean, do you have other stuff either in a downtime way of like resetting yourself, or does it just kind of feed itself and you get energy from it?
Yeah, largely it feeds itself. This is like the first job I've worked that like I feel better after I do it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
I love it. Well,
Yeah.
and your job is gigging. Like you're gigging full time. Do you do some stuff on the side
Yeah,
too?
I'm responsible for a small amount of work at a brewery in Decorah.
Drinking doesn't mean that you're that's okay, which brewery?
Pulpit Rock.
Pulpit Rock.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
And I,
Right.
you know, the crew there is so accepting of my lifestyle. I'm really grateful to them.
Yeah.
I leave a lot. I'm a bad employee. You know, I leave all the time.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, are you brewing? Or are you not?
No,
You're just
it's sort of a Swiss Army knife position.
Yeah. Oh, makes sense.
Yeah.
That makes sense. See, but a lot of places do need that, even if like it's actually harder, I feel like, to find people like you that maybe don't need full-time work, and
Right.
want that.
Yeah. I'm sure they would rather I was there all the time.
I was trying to make it work for
Thank
you,
you.
bud. But yeah. No, I love pulpit rock, and I have a lot of family from up in
Oh,
the
cool.
Decorah area, and so I'm really familiar. And for people who aren't familiar, that don't live in Iowa, it's just one of the prettiest places in Iowa. So I'm envious of that you get the hills and stuff.
Thank you.
Rude,
Yeah.
but
Yeah, it's
cool.
it's a really gorgeous part of the
Yeah.
world.
Really inspiring, I would think, of, and being that close to the Mississippi as well, and touring down. I think we were talking about this when you came through town before, like playing the river towns.
That's
There's
where it's
like
at.
something different. It hits a little different.
Yeah.
Even going up north, like because you get up to Wisconsin a lot and Minnesota.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have a favorite spot that like calls you home?
I feel really drawn to Lake Superior.
Oh yeah.
I lived near the Pacific Ocean for a while, and like really miss that
Large
like
bodies of
yeah,
water.
big bodies of water.
Yeah.
And so yeah, going up to Lake Superior really like feeds something in me.
Yeah.
And
That
I was
makes
there
sense.
this last weekend. Lucky to
You
get
seem
a
extra
handful of
zen.
gigs.
There's
Yeah,
something about
thank you.
It's a lake effect.
It's a lake
Obviously.
effect. Yeah, I found a purple agate, which I've never seen
Whoa!
before.
Okay.
Yeah, I wonder.
Do you have it in your pocket?
Well,
Stop it.
I should have known this before I started looking. I think it's in the pair of pants I changed out of actually.
No.
But I'll show it to you later.
I want to see it
Yeah.
after. We'll get a photo for your socials so
Yeah,
everyone
cool.
can see it. Also, I'm totally a rock nerd as well, so I didn't know we were
nice.
bringing our rock collections. I would have. I don't think I have a purple agate. What I love too is my mom definitely listens to this podcast. Shout out to her. She loves hunting for rocks, and she'll be very excited about your agate find.
Excellent. It's not, like true agate heads, like,
it's a whole thing. There's
Yeah.
a YouTube channel. There's
I bet
there's
there
several.
is, yeah.
I mean, it's yeah.
Speaking of YouTube channels,
Yeah.
most of the drive, I stayed up just south of the Twin Cities last night.
Ooh, yeah.
And most of my drive down on 35, I was following a storm chaser vehicle.
No.
Have you ever done that?
No. Oh my gosh.
It was the most unnerving thing in the
You're like,
world.
where are they going? I'm going
like,
there.
we're going the same direction. Like, what? I should know
You're like,
something.
is there something you're trying to get next to him and be like, is there something I should know? Oh my gosh. But part of you was like, oh, I'm following them now, wherever they go, right?
I was tempted.
Yeah.
I was tempted.
Like, especially if they make a sudden right turn off on a gravel road or something. You need to just follow that.
Mm-hmm. Totally.
Twister, I love Twister, the OG movie. So I probably would do that.
Yeah.
And then I'd be like, oh no. And then they never heard of her again. That sounds like something that I would do.
Mm-hmm. I don't mean to derail.
No,
what we
I
have going
actually
on
love
here.
this, Steve. I'm like, wait, do we want to talk about weather and rocks? Because people are super into that. Right, Brooke, behind the curtain? Oh, gosh. Greenbelt Music Festival is around the corner, May 16th and 17th in Clive, Iowa. Don't miss headliners Green Sky Bluegrass, The Devil Makes Three, Shovels and Rope, and more. Plus a fantastic lineup of regional and local talent. It's a perfect weekend for all ages, and kids 12 and under get in free. Grab tickets now at greenbeltmusic.com. So I wanted to talk to you too about you've had a lot of success in seemingly connections that I want to hear about, but so with them Coolie Boys, you're opening for Chicago Farmer. So is it the area that you're in? Like, are you gigging out and meeting these people, or how are you making these connections? I feel like a lot of bands kind of struggle with that initially when they're getting into new towns, stuff like that.
Yeah. How
You're
how
like,
how did that happen?
So you tripped and fell and then landed on stage.
Exactly. Yeah. It certainly wasn't that them Coolie Boys heard my music and called me out of the blue.
You got the call. Yeah.
I believe both of those bands you mentioned I met at other shows that or festivals that we were both on the bill for.
Cool. I figured it was something like that, but
Yeah.
I feel like people don't take enough, like people being musicians. I love it when people come up and just make that connection of like, hey, we're in Kansas City, you're here, we would love to swap show. Like,
Yeah.
I feel like that needs to be done way more. I feel like people don't want to bug people or they feel intimidated, but a lot of times it's, helpful, especially because you're so versatile to go out on your own, or you have, other crew at hand. I feel like that's like a huge asset for these bands.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that the main thing I struggle with is like not wanting to be transactional.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like that
Yes.
stuff really kind of skeeves me out. Like that would be I like really don't want to be like,
Yeah.
you
You're
know.
not like, what can you do for me? That's like the LA thing, right?
Yeah,
What
right.
can you do
Right.
for
Yeah.
me?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's
And so
genuine.
like I guess I
Yeah.
just try and be like a decent dude and also tell people that like and I started doing this like kind of more recently than I should have, but saying like, this is what I do, It's not
Sure.
I don't like I don't like play music as a hobby, even though I do. Like
Yes.
this is, and I think that kind of just like flips a switch for people. That's like, oh, okay, like he's serious about it and like
Okay, this is very real because I feel like everyone and their cousin has a guitar and can play guitar and, such and such. But it is a different level. And I think it means more commitment on your end too, right? To show up and deliver the experience that they are trying to deliver to the same audience.
Yeah.
So like it's important to have someone to set up the crowd to be in the same mode, be in the same vibe as what they're wanting, I guess, rather than just like someone who gets up there and doesn't care.
Right. Yeah. And also I think like it's a matter of like taking like you said, maybe people are listening that are in bands or like curious about how to like get the next gig, like just having like respect for your own art, like,
True.
It might be like your first gig, you might be really new at it, but that doesn't mean like you can't like own what you do and what you have to offer,
That's so true.
And so
Yeah.
I guess I kind of feel like my primary business strategy, which I wouldn't advise anybody try and replicate, is just sort of, trying to put myself in situations where I like need to prove something to myself. You know what I mean?
Being true to yourself. That's
Yeah.
That's what I'm hearing.
And yeah, like be open to being challenged and yeah.
Ooh. Do you is there a specific example? That's interesting.
Yeah.
Like
I guess
receiving criticism. We talk.
I guess I'm talking about like being challenged, like being in a situation that I'm not like entirely comfortable in.
Yes, going outside your comfort zone.
Yeah.
I gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not open to criticism. If I don't want to hear anybody say anything bad about.
That's
I'm
I
way
was
too
really
fragile.
impressed. You just seem like, oh, I'm down for any challenger. Anyone can walk
I'm
up
way
and
too
tell
fragile.
me I'm crap.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, I don't really like that either. So I don't know how you do it. No, that makes sense. I've been doing this myself. We were talking about the gigs that we've been playing recently, and I'm so impressed by people that can be on call for other bands like you. I mean, you play in several in addition to writing your own incredible music, and I so admire that because I think it's such a different skill than just like staying, with your own band and doing your own thing, is to get out and learn someone else's music. But I find it really inspiring too. I'm curious if you do as well, of like, oh, that chord structure changes how I think about music a little bit. Or,
Absolutely. Yeah. That playing in other people's bands is like the most instructive thing I do.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love it so much.
Yeah. And you play, so remind who all you're playing with.
Coming up, I'm going out on tour with Luke Callan and Claire Doyle.
Oh, yeah.
Claire's based out of Minneapolis and Luke's based out of Eau Claire.
I was gonna say, these names are ringing bells.
Yeah.
Oh,
and,
cool.
And they're doing kind of like a one band, two bands situation where like I'm playing guitar and the drummer and the bass player stay the same, and Luke and Claire will just swap out.
Oh, wow, yeah. Oh,
and so
fun.
we're doing a run in the southeasterly direction.
Love it. Oh, such a beautiful. I got the chance to actually like go on a trip through the Tennessee and lower areas like Georgia. Oh my gosh, it's really beautiful. That'll be fun.
I'm really excited.
Yeah.
And I'm like that's a substitute gig, I'm not either one of their primary guitar players.
Yeah.
And in fact, I'm probably pretty low on the list, but I said yes.
You stop it. Oh gosh. Yeah.
And that's been great, it's like, and it's really challenging. I played bass in both of their bands, but like learning, learning the songs for guitar is like a different thing, and the people who they work with in the studio are like really, you know, people I love and admire.
Ooh.
And so it's fun to like, you know, transcribe parts and stuff of people who like I want to be able to play like.
Who impress you. Isn't there something about, you know, you want to like be in a race with someone faster than you so that you can push yourself beyond, even if you don't beat that person who's amazing. Or whatever. Like, I will never play piano like, I don't know, Fiona Apple or Darvel. It's like these people who does Fiona even play piano? I'm just making crap up now.
I think so.
I think she does. But like, but I feel like there are moments where even just stretching yourself to be like in that image, or like put it again, not comparing yourself, because I feel really strongly about like art being so individual to who you are that it's good even if it's not like virtuoso level of, you know, the simplest songs can mean the most to people. So I really believe in that. But I also have been trying to do the same thing of like, wow, I'm, you know, in the Life Project, Cassandra, it's a band I play in, and Cassandra's an incredible singer. I mean, she's basically got perfect pitch, and it challenges me to have to sing harmonies with her because she's already like in the stratosphere, you know, in my mind. So yeah, I relate to that.
Totally. Yeah, it's always a real pleasure to be like the worst guitar player in the room.
I love being the worst in the band. Oh, it's great. Everyone just sounds good. You just I'm with you there. So you're going out, I mean, touring and doing your own stuff, planning a release. Let's go backwards a little bit. Simon, when did you start learning guitar? When did you feel like, oh, I need to do this?
Yeah, I felt really called to it as I think I was like 10 or 11.
Pretty young.
And I started taking guitar lessons with a woman named Amy Ringel, who lived in Decorah. And she, it was like pretty unlike any other guitar lesson I think anybody else was giving. I would go over to her place and we would like listen to records and light incense and drink tea.
So it was like theory, like it was like almost like history.
It was kind of like
music.
Music appreciation lesson, and like community, you know, being in musical community lessons.
Wow, yeah.
And that's kind of her background. She's like way into community singing.
Fun, yeah.
And
oh, see, that's great.
Yeah, and so that was kind of my first like, you know, I am a kid and I'm interested in this and I want to like I want to pursue it, you know.
And someone's feeding you. I assume she was playing you good records. Like I assume you're listening to like good stuff.
I assume so too. I really can't remember.
Yeah.
But that was really great. And then I, in like, you know, middle school and high school would just every night in my room, electric guitar, headphones on.
Oh, yeah.
Like, you know,
heck yeah,
learning riffs.
Yeah. Were you into like the bluegrass country sound then, or was that something that you grew into?
I grew into that in high school. Like when I was first like totally obsessed with the guitar, I was learning like, you know, rock stuff.
Yeah.
And then there was a band that was a couple years older than me in high school called the Bread and Butter String Band. And they were playing like old time and bluegrass music, very much riding the Oh Brother Where Art Thou wave.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh, that soundtrack though was like so good.
That like changed the music industry.
Yeah.
You know?
I think so too. I feel like there was sort of a renaissance of,
absolutely,
of bluegrass and that kind of like folk singing, is that like true like base level culture, you know, cultural folk singing.
Yeah, I think we owe a lot to that soundtrack.
Yeah, seriously. Yeah.
and I thought they were just awesome, but they already had like all the instruments they needed, and so I bought
not bread,
like,
not butter.
Yeah,
right.
I like pieced together a PA system and offered to be their sound tech, and so like I would run sound for them, you know, like the county fair or the
you're brilliant.
4th of July thing. And so I weaseled my way into the band. And then eventually they just agreed to add a second guitar player.
Hey, look at that. Oh, my gosh.
Yeah.
If you build it, if you engineer it, if you run sound for it, they will come.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah. Which is just, I mean, that's like, I think that's been my strategy from the start is like just get close and try.
Get in the orbit. Yeah. Well, and that's such an awesome skill set to have as well. Like actually knowing how to run a PA with
Yeah.
any sort of skill.
Oh man, I did everything wrong. You know, I made every possible mistake when I was running that. I started a fire at
Oh my
a wood-fired pizza restaurant.
God. I mean, what happened? Like, just like a small fire? What happened? Wait,
Yes,
what
very
happened?
small fire, but it did cause the kitchen to lose power, which
No,
was
so you didn't get any
unfortunate.
pizza, which is really the saddest part.
They got it fired back up pretty quick.
Oh, okay,
Yeah,
okay, okay,
it was
good.
just, I think, a matter of a breaker.
Oh my God.
But yeah, I was using this homemade dimmer box with like just, you know, wall dimmers that we used on some like heavy like Fresnel stage lights. And I also ran a half stack guitar amp into that dimmer box. You know, it was like,
wow.
I just didn't know anything.
Yeah.
It was like, well, the holes, you know, it's the right shape hole.
Just because you can doesn't mean you should, right?
Totally.
Yeah.
And so, you know, I just learned so much by like fucking up all the time.
Just exploding a pizza restaurant. Yeah. Or did they like kick you out and say never come back, or were they?
No, luckily it was really humid, and so they blamed the issue on the humidity and the heat.
You're like, yeah, as you're like kicking stuff away. Yeah. You're like, definitely not these 17 outlets.
Yeah, right. Ignore the smoking power strip.
Oh my God, that's hilarious. Oh, yeah. I imagine that if you had crazy gig stories, it'd be more around things with water since you play on the river so much. But yeah, fire also makes sense.
Yeah. And yeah, my craziest story was at like 15. You
know? I know. Yeah, you're like, well, I peaked. Like, what am I going to do now? Yeah.
Yeah, now it's just drunk guys at bars. It's super boring compared to.
Are you ever like, dude, I saw this at the last bar last night. Like, just get over yourself.
No, I make my living by their good graces.
This is true. This is true. Do you have like a favorite cover that you rip to get people riled up, or do you focus on?
I'm so bad at getting people riled up. I do. I've got a couple of like old gospel numbers that I like to sing to like make men cry.
Yeah. I love this. I love this for you. I love this for the world.
Yeah.
That's good. Is it let her cry? But you just say let him cry.
Yeah.
Do that one. I went down to the river to pray. Where I was like, let's bring it back to Oh Brother Where Art Thou? Yeah. That's fun.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. But I'm better, I think, at riling people up when I'm doing like guitar tricks in other people's bands, you know? My solo act is like pretty.
I totally imagined you like tossing a guitar into the air and catching it behind your back or something when you say guitar tricks. Please do. That would be amazing. Yeah, no, that's true. That's true. Yeah. No, but I again, when I saw you in December, I just thought you were really engaging, and you can tell that you work crowds often because, you know, there are times that I feel like you can tell that a musician's really good, but they don't maybe play out and do kind of the bar crawl thing, because that's a totally different ball game, and it's I just feel like it's a mix of purposeful but also just your internal humor that comes out that makes it really enjoyable and authentic, you know, but like you're every dude, you can be that, but then you also just play like these incredibly beautiful and very well written songs. So
thanks.
Kudos to you.
Thank you. Yeah, I think the thing I'm striving for most, like the idea of authenticity kind of trips me out. Because I don't know, like I think that means different things to different people.
True.
You know? But I think like the way I can be the most authentic is to like acknowledge that, you know, you're here to see an act. Here's the show, you know. I will do my best to entertain you for 40 minutes, and like I'm an entertainer. I'm not like, you know, a blue collar guy who's came in from the job to like, you know, to nothing against, you know, like there are plenty of blue collar guys who come in from the job and play great sets, you know. Yeah. But like I you know.
Well, it's taking taking your role seriously in that moment, right? You're like, this is a job, like it is your job, and I'm here to do this job. You know?
Right. Yeah. Right. Yeah. Which I guess I kind of regret, you know, what I just said there. But yeah, I think you know what I mean.
I think it's an interesting point, because I think there's also an expectation. I feel like River and I talked about this in our chat a little bit of like there's an expectation that you're just supposed to like open up your rib cage and be totally 100% who you are. And there's an element that for your own protection and for, I mean, protection sounds traumatic, but like your own heart protection and just your own energy protection, you got to keep like a little bit of a character, a little bit of an ego, a little bit of something that lives outside of you that allows you to get up in front of strangers every night and do what you do well. So I get it.
Yeah. Like, I guess, I like, you hear people be critical of like people who put on a costume, because it's like not authentic or whatever.
Right.
But I think like put on a costume and tell people that it's a costume. That's like authenticity.
Right. No, that's so true. Because then you have the Chapel Roans of the world, and everyone's like in love with her, and she's being authentic by dressing that way. Like
it's a performance art.
Way.
Yeah.
Right.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it's what we're meant to do. No, that's a really interesting point. And I also think that people are they jump to judgment maybe too quickly because of these things that we're talking about, like just because someone does look a certain way, it doesn't mean they'll be great. And just because the opposite isn't true either,
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. So I feel like people who, like you said, just take themselves seriously and believe in themselves, that's always when I find myself enjoying it the most and believing them the most. And even if it's not like, hi, I'm just Sally, like that, like even if they're kind of putting on a show, that's what they wanted to present.
Right.
And believe in that. Yeah.
Yeah. It's such a strange business, like your decisions can really be scrutinized by strangers all the time.
Yeah. We, I don't think so my band, my main Squeeze band is the Host Country.
Yeah.
And so that name implies we're a country band, but we're not. So we messed up. What it came from, though, is the World Cup was happening. And when Ty and I first started the band, I was actually living abroad. So I had a host family, a host, and the World Cup was happening. They kept saying like the host country, South Africa, the host so it was this feeling of like community and welcoming and, not necessarily us thinking, oh no, we're going to sound like a country band. And,
right.
Just, in speaking to that kind of like, oops, we're not trying to portray that we're a country band with the name, but we like kind of messed up in that front. And we're definitely, we started as a folk duo and now we're like vibey indie rock band, and it's just kind of throwing people for a loop. And sometimes, but I'll just never forget, this lady came up in my hometown of all places, Fairfield, Iowa, and we played a set and she came up and she's like, you're not a country band. And we're like, yeah, we know. She's like, but your name, you're the Host Country, you don't look, like what? And I wanted to be like, what's your name? And, she'd be like, I don't know, Sheila or whatever. And I'd be like, you really don't sound like a Sheila. Like, back off, lady, man. Like, it's what's the matter to you?
Hilarious.
Like, I'm sorry if do you want your money back? I don't think you paid anything, so it's, again, we're never trying to mislead anybody, but. And we can't use the acronym because it's THC.
Oh, yeah, of course.
I mean, we could, but it would just, again, kind of probably
cause some problems, yeah.
Kind of shot ourselves in the foot there. But I that story like sticks with us. I mean, this was like 10 years ago or something, and I just remember her being like, I was like, okay, Judgy McJudgerson,
right.
Get out of here. Yeah. Yeah. People love to tell you what they think.
Love to tell you what they think, yeah. And, sometimes I'm curious.
Yeah. Oh, totally.
But sometimes I'm really not.
Yeah. Hey, all comments are good PR at this point, right? Thank you, Internet. You can talk as much crap as you want as long as you like, follow, and subscribe.
Oh, man. Yeah. That's tough. Do you do like the social media stuff for the Host Country? Is that your responsibility?
Yes, really integral. I saw a post that you made that was great. I think I scrolled like all the way back to your first post and you're like, hey, welcome to my page where I'll try to promote as much as humanly possible without absolutely dying
Yeah.
inside. You know, it's something to that effect.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, I appreciate that. A lot of
It's
artists.
tough,
Yeah, talk about
man.
that. It's a full-time job, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. I
Yeah.
guess, yeah, if it probably should be.
You're like, good point. I should probably. No,
Right.
it is tough.
Mm-hmm.
It's tough to juggle all of that. And, you know, sometimes you feel like you're spamming people. Like, you're like, how many times really can I post about this? But these days, you got to post like 100 million times for
Yeah.
anything to cut through.
Yeah, I just like half a year ago I started doing an email list,
Ah, yeah.
and that's been feeling like a good outlet
Yeah.
for like, because I just like really I don't like what social media does to my own brain.
Yep.
And like the more,
Yes.
the more time I spend on it, the worse I feel generally. And so
Yeah,
like I don't want to like
real.
force people to engage with that in order to
Right.
find out about what I'm up to.
Double-edged sword, right?
Yeah.
Because then if you're not on those platforms, people are like, you must not exist because I can't find you
Right.
on these things. And you do have an Instagram and a Facebook,
Mm-hmm.
and you are good about that. But I feel like that for years too with like Spotify or some of the streaming platforms. You know,
Yeah.
if you're not on there, then people like, it's like, do you exist? People used to think
Totally.
it was like hard, like, oh, you're on Spotify? Wow. I'm like,
Right.
yeah, you just upload your. No, you're right. It's cool. They definitely picked me. They picked us.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. No, but it's difficult. Again, full-time job. Oftentimes, if you know, it's hard to pack those rooms that you're trying to pack. But an email list is a great way to do it.
I like it. And then, people choose, it's more of a conscious choice to like engage,
Yes. Yeah.
with it.
I think part of what we're trying to do as a community of musicians is also educate audience members, right? On like ways like supporting signing up for your email list. That's a great way. So you don't have to spend so much time on social media, like you just said. Like that's a great way to engage. But we've been kind of trying to, I feel like, retrain people after COVID. Like everyone got trained to stay home, which was what needed to happen. But now it's like, come out. Artists really, it's hard to make it. We're not making money on Spotify. No, it takes way too many streams for that. Or any of the other, streaming services. So I think it's important to have that direct connection so they actually come out, buy a shirt, do the thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm really inspired by people who've been doing it for a long time.
Mm.
We were talking about Chad Elliott
Yeah, right.
earlier. He's
Yeah.
a friend and
Yeah.
mentor to me.
Well, and he's like an artist. He paints and stuff too.
He's got
you
it
can
all.
get into that.
I know. Yeah, I need to diversify.
You should come up with your own beer. Like have Pulpit Rock do.
That's a good idea.
They could call it Pulpit Cropp.
Yeah,
oh God, that was bad.
we'll
I'll work on
workshop it. Yeah.
I'm in marketing. I'm good at this.
I got
No,
a friend
we'll work
who brought coffee on the road with him. He's selling bags of coffee,
Whoa!
which is cool.
Brilliant.
I know.
Like like he roasted it?
No, his friend
just
was a
repackaged it?
roaster, and they just like printed a label for him.
I like the idea that
Yeah.
he's just buying Starbucks coffee and putting a sticker on it.
Totally. Yeah.
It's probably illegal, but I would love.
Very funny. That's Ross Thorne is who we're talking about.
Oh,
He's based out of Duluth, and I'm on a bit of a press tour right now. The
Oh.
last podcast I did, I talked shit about him for like 20 minutes. I was trying really hard to like not say anything negative about him this time.
But now.
But you kind of baited me.
Yes, all right, let's go.
No, I'm not gonna do it. I love Ross. He's
Yeah.
one of my favorite working songwriters right now, and I want to steal his idea and sell coffee on the road.
That's
It's durable.
pretty. Yeah.
It makes your car smell
Makes
good.
your car smell amazing. That's what I was
Yeah.
thinking. Yeah.
And there's no like with beer, there would be some licensing issues
Yes.
and
Right. And it's alcohol. And
yeah.
Yeah. We're all trying to drink less of that while drinking more of it.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. That's great.
But yeah, coffee is a vice I can get behind.
Yeah. That's I am also wanting to steal that now. That's a good idea.
Yep. Ross Thorne. I hope you're listening, buddy. I said nothing but good things.
This time. Dang it. We wanted the saucy stuff too. That's okay.
Yeah.
No, so plans ahead. You've got album coming out in the summer. Gonna be touring a bunch.
Yeah.
Anything else on the horizon?
That's kind of the extent of it. Yeah, I'm we're in the final push of getting the album done. last night a friend accused me of being on permatour.
That's a great.
So if you're listening, I'm
dibs on that.
probably playing a show somewhere near you soon.
See, but it is addicting though. I mean, you meet all walks of life, and I love, being on I've gotten to do it a few times, and unfortunately, I don't get to do it more consistently. But I think it's just one of the best. There's a reason that it's addictive. You know, there's a reason.
Yeah. It feels really good.
Yeah. So touring, so you're going to be around
Just
all over
around.
the Midwest.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll be back in Des Moines in June.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah,
Where's
doing
that going to be?
XBK show. I'm trying to remember if this is confirmed or not.
Oh, okay.
So I think I won't.
TBD.
Yeah, but keep an eye out on XBK's website for a weekday show.
Yes.
Yep. And if I'm not there, you'll probably enjoy it. So go anyway.
Either it's happening or just go anyway.
Yeah.
Support the venues. No, that's great.
Yeah.
Simon, you're so fun, and it was fun having you here.
Thanks. This is great.
Yeah. Gosh, it's just great to chat and talk about road life and kind of everything that's going on. And I really hope people spend some time with your songs, because I find them truly absolutely clever and like I said, very relatable and delightful to listen to. And speaking of which, we're going to go out with a clip of the new song, Resignation Letter. Thanks again, Simon.
Thank you.
We're done. We did it.
T for too tired to work today. T for time off with too little pay. T for trouble knows no end. When you see I'm coming close to quitting again.
In the Round is produced and recorded at Trilix Studio. Remember to subscribe to In the Round wherever podcasts are found.